here, they talked about different approaches to supporting some of those hundreds or thousands, really, of migrants who were bussed into the city from Texas's southern border. Any solutions brought up last night?
I mean, I think that one thing that Shuey, that people did take aim at is, has he used some of his power, quote unquote power, but, in Congress to get federal funds for stuff like, the migrants, for more, better public transportation, CTA funds, et cetera, coming out of the pandemic. No, I mean, Lightfoot reiterated that we are a sanctuary city. We are a sanctuary state. Willie Wilson, again, made the point that we need to, which actually is, you do hear this from more conservative folks, that we need to take care of who's suffering in our city and who needs housing and jobs in our city instead of welcoming in, close to 5,000 migrants. But yeah, I don't know that there were really real solutions presented that I recall.
Woodlawn became a flashpoint on this very recently on this issue because the Lightfoot administration wanted to house migrants in a converted school building? I can't. And residents there got really upset. There is not the city's all over the place in terms of the positions on this, and it's not. I think most people would say yes, in general terms, we ought to be a sanctuary city. But when it gets down to the particulars, oof.
I think Vallis even attacked Lightfoot on that, saying, hey, you're the person going out there saying we're a sanctuary city and you're high-minded on this, but you can't carry that commitment through.
Yeah.
And Lightfoot shot back that Vallis also kind of complained that she was grandstanding and so talking about Texas Governor Greg Abbott and so no solutions, but a lot of political back and forth.
Yeah. Well, Vallis also talked about the CTA, saying the CTA has failed across the board under the Lightfoot administration. Blame it on the crime, blame it on the perception that the CTA is unsafe. At the end of the day, public safety on the CTA has to be top priority, end quote. So he's calling for more uniformed officers overall on the transit system.
Lightfoot shot back, well, it doesn't seem that Mr. Vallis has been riding the CTA because there are more officers on the CTA. Cam Buckner, State Rep Cam Buckner, had a good point that I've heard from other people, other riders, like, putting, guard dogs and armed police is not necessarily making people feel safer. He actually had a point. He said, what is this, 1960s George Wallace, Alabama? They don't feel like that's maybe the approach that's taking care of the lack of cleanliness, the number of houseless people that are that need the CTA. The CTA, I think, is, of course, crime is the point, but wow, the CTA, every single one stood up there like, we need new leadership, and they're not wrong that this is the CTA in its current state is just not up to par for who we are as a city, for as large as we are as a city. I talked about it last time I was here.
You did.
Yeah. I mean, I've been running the CTA probably like Stephen Parrish for, almost 20 years. And it's like, it's not the same situation.
It goes beyond the crime. I mean, the ghost buses, the fact that you're standing on the platform in the freezing cold and your train's not coming for 26 minutes. It's supposed to be coming in rush hour every 8 minutes or so. And, I mean, they've
got a convoluted system of scheduled times and real time GPS that doesn't seem to be working.
And the CTA chief has basically said the problem is I can't hire enough people, and we're working on it. We're trying to get people hired, and that's going to solve all our problems. But I mean, this has been going on for a long time.
Well, I just want to let folks know that you can read more about each candidate's views on crime at WBEZ.org.